So I'm going to bootstrap the confidence interval for the mean of my year 2009 sample of the global distribution for uranium production. So what I'm going to do first is highlight my values, right click to define name, and I'm just going to call this sample. Looks good. Already done that. Alright, so you go ahead and do that, and then choose spot for your bootstrapping to commence, and put the formula in here. Is index sample rows. There we go. So that big long formula I just typed in, we can go back to it here. It's basically just picking a value out of these $18 or so, and this time it took 40. See that. So what you can do now is you can copy this formula, and because I'm working with 18 equals n, I'm going to want to go across and create 18 random, and you can see right here 18 is highlighted, so I know how many values I've got. Just going to paste that formula straight across there. So what I have here is a sample size, the exact same as, sorry, it's a resample size, the same size as my sample size, which was 18 here. My resample size is also 18 going across. And what I can do now is highlight down 500 times. Here we go, and paste that formula. So now I've got 500 n equals 18 resamples of the original data set, which is very exciting because now I can find the mean of each resample just by doing one of these. It's a little bit tedious, but you'd have to highlight the whole resample for the formula, and we are good. So the mean of this first resample is 1842.94. So I can go ahead and copy this and paste it right down to the bottom, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to take a little shortcut and check out the median here of each resample, and that equals median of, and once again I have to highlight There we go. Now let's copy, and now let's paste. So I only have to scroll down to 500 once. And I'll paste. So now we've got heaps of information. We've got 500 resample means and 500 resample medians. Stats magic. So what I can do now is right click on my data, and I'm going to copy and just paste special. And what I want to do is just paste the actual values. There we go. No formulas attached. And I'm going to want to sort this data. Here we go. And just make sure we know what everything is. Alright. So what we can go ahead and do now is manually calculate our 95% confidence interval. So the way we do that is by using a calculator, and we've got our sample size is, we've got 500 resample means, so our sample size is 500 now. So if we want to have a 95% confidence interval, we'd be cutting off 2.5% off either side of the tail ends of the distribution. So if we go ahead and find out what 2.5% of 500 is, it's 12.5. We're not going to have a 12.5 value, so we'll just round that up to 13. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut off the 13th value from the top and the 13th value from the bottom, and then we'll have our 95% confidence interval. And the way we do that is with a formula. And we'll put comma 13 here, and that's telling Excel that I just want values starting at the 13th value. So the 13th value of the medians is 145. So that's going to be the lower end of the confidence interval for the median, and the upper end is going to be large, and we'll just see, oops, not this. What I'm going to do is just copy this entire formula, paste it here, and just switch this word here, large. Let's see what we get. There we go. So pasting in the formula here equals large, the whole 500 piece data set for the median, and again the 13th value. So we can make a conclusion here from this information that by using bootstrapping to a value of n equals 500, and it's not actually 500, it would be 497. The confidence interval for the median is, let's just be sure that's the 95% confidence interval. By using bootstrapping to a value of n equals 497, the confidence interval for the median is 145, median 1950. We can do the same thing for the mean. Again, it's the 13th value that we're cutting it off. And get the upper. So again, we can say by using bootstrapping to a value of n equals 497, the 95% confidence interval for the mean is 813, mean less than mean less than 3,197. And that's it. So we have bootstrapped a 95% confidence interval for the median and the mean of my year 2009 sample of the global distribution of uranium production.